Welcome to Facts Intrigue, where we delve deep into the unknown and bring the most compelling tales to light. Today, we invite you on a journey to the roof of the world, Mount Everest. Before we get started, would you be so kind and subscribe to our channel? This simple gesture will help our channel grow so we can reach other viewers with our videos. Rising majestically to a staggering 29,000 feet, Everest is not only the highest peak on Earth, but also a colossal repository of mysteries and tales that challenge human understanding. From eerie legends to historical enigmas, this formidable mountain, nestled in the Mahalangur Himal sub-range of the Himalayas, holds secrets that have puzzled even the most astute minds. In this video, we will unveil 17 spine-chilling discoveries, in no particular order, on Mount Everest that have left even scientists baffled. Starting with is the mystery of Mallory and Irvine. Long before Sir Edmund Hillary's acclaimed summit in 1953, the mountain whispered tales of George Mallory and Sandy Irvine, two intrepid English climbers who vanished in 1924, a mere 100 feet from the summit. Mallory, an expert climber, was no stranger to Everest, having been part of the 1921 British reconnaissance expedition that first mapped the region. It was during this expedition that Mallory realized the crucial need for oxygen masks at such punishing altitudes. Irvine, though not an experienced climber, possessed a vital skill, managing the oxygen apparatus, making him an indispensable partner for Mallory. Their mysterious disappearance during a snowstorm, leaving behind only a few scattered clues, has sparked decades of speculation. The discovery of Mallory's body in 1999 only deepened the mystery, with his camera, potentially holding proof of their success, remaining elusive. The fate of George Mallory and Andrew "Sandy" Irvine remains one of the most captivating mysteries in the history of mountaineering. Trying to determine the cause of their death. The exact cause of their deaths is unknown, and for very good reason. George Mallory's body was discovered in 1999, but the cause of death could not be conclusively determined. The body did show signs of injury, including a severe rope jerk injury around his waist and a lethal head wound, suggesting a fall. However, whether these injuries occurred during their ascent or descent, or whether they reached the summit before their fall, is still a subject of speculation and debate. There was just no way to determine for sure what had happened to them. Many have asked if there was a recovery of their bodies. George Mallory's body was found on the north face of Mount Everest in 1999, but it was not brought back down the mountain. The decision was made to leave his body where it was found, out of respect, and due to the practical difficulties involved in recovering bodies from such extreme locations. Unfortunately, as most often is the case, the recovery of bodies from Mount Everest is a very dangerous endeavor for rescuers and other climbers, especially in the death zone. They too could die in the process. All climbers know when they climb Mount Everest, that in the event of their death, their body may become a permanent part of the mountain. So, in the case of George Mallory and Andrew Irvine's body, which has never been conclusively found, a simple burial ceremony was conducted on the mountain. There have been unverified sightings of a body that some believe could be Irvine's. Like Mallory, if Irvine's body were to be found, it is likely that it would also be left on the mountain, in line with the common practice for those who perish in the death zone. The enduring mystery of whether they reached the summit before they died continues to fascinate and haunt the mountaineering world. So, what is the death zone, you may ask? The death zone refers to the regions of a mountain that are at an altitude above 8,000 meters, 26,247 feet, above sea level. This term is most commonly associated with Mount Everest but applies to all high mountains. The death zone is infamous for its extremely harsh and life-threatening conditions, which include thin air, low oxygen levels. The air pressure in the death zone is significantly lower than at sea level, resulting in less oxygen available in the air. The oxygen level is so low that it is insufficient to sustain human life for an extended period. As a result, the body cannot acclimatize to these altitudes, and prolonged exposure can lead to severe forms of altitude sickness, including high-altitude cerebral edema, ASE, and high-altitude pulmonary edema, HAPE. Extreme weather. If the low level of oxygen wasn't bad enough, the death zone is characterized by extremely cold temperatures that can drop well below freezing. climbers face the risk of frostbite and hypothermia. Weather conditions on Mount Everest, especially in the death zone, can be unpredictable and severe, with strong winds and snowstorms, making the climb incredibly dangerous. Physical and mental exhaustion. The body's ability to repair itself is significantly reduced, and simple injuries or illnesses can become life-threatening in the death zone. And as a result of the low oxygen, thin air, decision-making abilities and cognitive functions are impaired due to such lower oxygen levels, leading to poor judgment and increased risk of accidents. Technical challenges. Now, if what I just said wasn't bad enough, then you have the terrain in the death zone, which is generally steep, icy, and treacherous, requiring a high level of technical climbing skill. Rescues in this zone find it extremely difficult and sometimes impossible to rescue anyone due to the challenging terrain and harsh conditions. Because of these factors, the time spent in the death zone is minimized as much as possible. Climbers use supplemental oxygen to breathe and have to move efficiently to conserve their energy and reduce the time spent in this perilous zone. Despite these precautions, the death zone remains the most dangerous part of high-altitude climbing, and many fatalities on mountains like Everest occur in this region. Strange phenomena at Mount Everest. The mountain, with its towering might, seems to be a realm not just of the physical, but also of the spectral. Sherpa Pemba Dorj's account of ghostly figures during his record-setting ascent in 2004 adds a chilling layer to Everest's lore. The sightings of dark, shadowy forms and the unsettling experiences reported by locals and climbers alike raise questions. Are these manifestations of those lost to the mountain, or could they be figments born from the thin, oxygen-starved air at such altitudes? The tales are as numerous as they are mysterious, blurring the lines between reality and the supernatural. But we at Facts Intrigue had to know more about this strange phenomenon. So, we set out to get more answers. The reports of strange phenomena on Mount Everest, such as ghostly apparitions, eerie sensations, and unexplained sounds, have indeed sparked both curiosity and speculation. While some climbers and local Sherpas strongly believe in the spiritual or supernatural nature of these experiences, attributing them to the spirits of those who have perished on the mountain, others seek more scientific explanations. Here are a few perspectives on the matter. High altitude effects on the brain. Hypoxia. At high altitudes, the reduced oxygen levels can lead to hypoxia, a condition where the brain is deprived of adequate oxygen. Hypoxia can cause hallucinations, disorientation, and impaired cognitive function, leading climbers to see or hear things that aren't there. Exhaustion and stress. The extreme physical exertion, lack of sleep, and mental stress of climbing can contribute to psychological disturbances, including hallucinations and a heightened emotional state. Cultural interpretations. In Sherpa and Tibetan cultures, mountains are often revered as sacred places. Everest, known as Komolungma in Tibet, is considered a deity. These cultural beliefs can influence how experiences on the mountain are interpreted. For many Sherpas and local people, the spirits of the mountain and those who died there are very real and command respect. Scientific skepticism. Skeptics argue that without tangible evidence, such phenomena can be more convincingly explained by the physical and psychological effects of high-altitude climbing rather than supernatural causes. Some researchers are interested in studying these phenomena from a psychological and physiological perspective, aiming to understand how extreme environments affect human perception and mental health. Feeling of presence. The feeling of an unseen presence or the sensation that someone else is nearby when no one is there has been reported not only on Everest but also in other extreme environments, like polar regions and during solitary confinement. Some neuroscientists believe this could be due to parts of the brain misinterpreting the body's own signals in stressful or unusual situations. While the discussion about these phenomena continues, with viewpoints ranging from staunch skepticism to firm belief in the supernatural, the harsh and awe-inspiring environment of Everest undoubtedly plays a significant role in shaping these experiences. Whether interpreted as hallucinations caused by the extreme conditions or as genuine supernatural occurrences, these experiences contribute to the mystique and allure of Mount Everest. Weird sounds. As daylight fades, the mountain unveils its nocturnal persona. The sounds that permeate the night air are not just mere noises, they are the mountain's own language. The groans and crashes that reverberate through the dark are born from the shifting of glaciers and the fracturing of ice. These sounds, as reported by climbers, are not just auditory experiences, they are visceral reminders of the mountain's ever-changing nature, sculpted by the elements over millennia. Yeti footprints. Now this is a big one, no pun intended, that really deserves a video all on its own. The legend of the Yeti. The legend of the Yeti, a mythical Himalayan creature, finds an intriguing chapter in the annals of Everest. The discovery of large, unexplained footprints by Eric Shipton in 1951 adds a tangible element to the folklore. Shipton's photographic evidence and the subsequent analysis provide a compelling narrative. These footprints, distinctly larger and uniquely shaped compared to human ones, invite us to ponder. Could there be an unknown creature that calls the unforgiving slopes of Everest its home, or are these imprints a natural anomaly, misinterpreted by those who seek the mysterious? We have just scratched the surface on the subject of the Yeti. Let us know in the comments below if you would like to see a more in-depth video of the legend of Yeti. Number 7. The most terrifying day on Mount Everest, ever. Mount Everest is no stranger to natural calamities, and the 2015 earthquake is a grim testament to this. Jim Davidson's tale of survival in Camp 1. Jim Davidson, an experienced mountaineer, was at Camp 1 on Mount Everest when the earthquake struck. The earthquake and subsequent avalanches caused massive disruptions and destruction on the mountain, putting the lives of climbers at significant risk. Davidson's account highlights the extreme dangers and the dire situation at Camp 1 following the earthquake. Immediate aftermath. The earthquake triggered massive avalanches that swept down the mountain, engulfing base camps and higher camps in snow and debris. Climbers, including Jim Davidson, found themselves in a perilous situation, with the ground shaking beneath them and the risk of being hit by avalanches or falling debris. Isolation and challenges. The avalanches destroyed routes, ladders, and ropes that climbers relied on for navigation and safety. This left many climbers, including Davidson, stranded at higher camps, cut off from the base camp and with limited supplies. The conditions at Camp 1 were dire, with the risk of further avalanches, aftershocks, and the challenges posed by the high altitude and harsh weather conditions. Survival and rescue efforts. Davidson, along with other climbers, had to rely on their survival skills, training, and limited resources while waiting for rescue. The climbers faced the daunting task of staying alive in the extreme conditions, dealing with physical injuries, psychological stress, and uncertainty about rescue. Rescue operations were complex and dangerous due to the unstable conditions on the mountain and the widespread destruction caused by the earthquake. Helicopters and rescue teams faced significant challenges in reaching the stranded climbers and evacuating them to safety. The earthquake and the subsequent avalanches resulted in significant loss of life and injuries, both in Nepal and on Mount Everest. It was one of the deadliest days in the mountain's history. For Davidson and many other survivors, the experience was a stark reminder of the unpredictable and often perilous nature of high-altitude mountaineering. Number 8. Wildlife of Everest. Contrary to popular belief, Everest is not a barren wasteland. The mountain is home to an astonishing array of wildlife, including the resilient Himalayan jumping spider and the elusive snow leopard. These creatures, adapted to the extreme conditions of Everest, are a testament to life's indomitable spirit. Number 9. The Soviet Mystery. In 1952, a covert Soviet expedition aimed to conquer Everest and plant the symbols of their nation at its summit. This ambitious mission ended in tragedy, with the climbers vanishing without a trace, leaving behind a legacy shrouded in secrecy and speculation. Number 10. Once named Adventurer of the Year, Uli Steck, the Swiss machine, known for his exceptional climbing prowess, met a tragic end on Everest's treacherous slopes. His untimely demise during a daring expedition in 2017 left the climbing world in mourning and sparked questions about the risks faced by even the most skilled mountaineers. Number 11. The Flood of Gigantic Poop. Indeed, beneath its awe-inspiring facade, Mount Everest is grappling with a pressing environmental dilemma: the substantial accumulation of human waste. Year after year, the mountain bears witness to the remnants of human ambition, as a multitude of climbers inadvertently contribute to this growing crisis. The detritus, ranging from human excrement to abandoned gear, including empty oxygen cylinders, tattered tents, and other discarded equipment, and dead bodies that could not be recovered, has marred the once pristine slopes of Everest. Imagine a scenario where the snow recedes, laying bare the aftermath of human conquest, a poignant testament to the disregard for the mountain's fragile ecosystem and the well-being of its inhabitants. This situation paints a sobering picture of humanity's relentless pursuit of triumph, often overshadowing the environmental cost and the profound respect that this majestic peak rightfully commands. Number 12. Rainbow Valley. Don't let the name fool you. Beyond the pristine white snow lies the Rainbow Valley, a macabre reminder of the mountain's perilous nature. Here, the colorful jackets of fallen climbers create a haunting mosaic, a poignant memorial to the lives lost in pursuit of Everest's summit. On the surface, this colorful Rainbow Valley might look to be a place of fun, happiness, and wonder. But it is not. It is a gloomy area that stands as a mortuary for dead climbers whose bodies are preserved in freezing temperatures. A persistent reminder of the dangers of climbing the world's tallest mountain. It makes one wonder why anyone would ever want to go there. To our esteemed audience, we pose a reflective question: what does it reveal about human nature, the resolve to brave such lethal environments, to literally step over the remnants of past endeavors in a relentless pursuit of the pinnacle? Here at Facts Intrigue, this contemplation weighs heavily on us. What drives the indomitable human spirit to face such perilous odds, to challenge the very limits of survival, all for the glory of conquering Mount Everest? Is the allure of standing atop the world worth the profound risks involved? We invite you to share your thoughts and insights in the comments below. Your perspectives enrich our exploration of these profound human experiences. Number 13. Marine fossils. In a remarkable revelation, the presence of marine fossils at the very apex of Mount Everest were found, propelling the scientific community into a realm of bewilderment and awe. This discovery raises profound questions. How did remnants of marine life ascend to the summit of the world's highest peak? What resilient and enigmatic creatures once dwelled in these now lofty heights? This extraordinary finding has ignited a spectrum of interpretations and beliefs. Some view it as a nod to the biblical narrative of the Great Flood described in the Book of Genesis, seeing these ancient relics as silent testimonies to a world submerged. Conversely, skeptics question the veracity of finding marine fossils in such an incongruous setting, challenging our understanding of natural history. The scientific community presents a compelling narrative grounded in the principles of plate tectonics. According to their analysis, these marine fossils are a testament to Earth's dynamic nature, suggesting that Everest's towering presence was once beneath an ancient ocean. Over the span of 100 million years, the relentless dance of tectonic plates sculpted the mountain's majestic form, lifting these marine vestiges to the skies. This mosaic of perspectives invites a personal reflection on our understanding of Earth's history. Do you align with the spiritual interpretations of ancient texts, or do you find solace in the scientific narrative of tectonic evolution? Share your thoughts with us as we ponder the origins of these marine fossils, beacons of Earth's ever-unfolding story. Number 14. The Chronicle of Maurice Wilson. Maurice Wilson's ill-fated attempt to conquer Everest in 1934 is a tale of faith and folly. Despite his lack of mountaineering experience, Wilson's spiritual convictions drove him to ascend the mountain, ultimately leading to a tragic end that echoes the unpredictable nature of Everest. Number 15. The Guardian Angel. The story of British climbers Dougal Haston and Doug Scott speaks to the mysterious forces at play on Everest. Stranded in the death zone, they reported feeling the presence of an unseen entity, offering guidance and comfort in their darkest hour, adding a mystical dimension to the mountain's lore. This story involves the extraordinary experience of British climbers Dougal Haston and Doug Scott during their 1975 ascent of Mount Everest. This event is one of the most captivating mysteries associated with the mountain, embodying the thin line between the physical world and the realm of the unexplained. As previously mentioned, Haston and Scott were part of the British Southwest Face expedition on Everest. After reaching the summit late in the day, they were forced to spend the night exposed on the south summit, well above 8,000 meters, in an area known as the death zone, where the oxygen is scarce, and the human body cannot survive for long. With no tent, minimal oxygen, and temperatures plummeting to below -30 degrees Celsius, their chances of survival were slim. As they huddled together in the darkness, facing almost certain death, both climbers experienced an inexplicable phenomenon. They reported feeling the presence of a third climber with them, offering comfort and a sense of protection against the harsh elements. This unseen presence provided them with the strength and warmth they needed to survive the night. By morning, despite all odds, Haston and Scott were alive and able to make their way back down the mountain. This experience is often cited as evidence of the third man factor, a phenomenon where climbers in extreme conditions report the presence of an unseen companion who provides support or guidance. Scientists have attempted to explain this phenomenon as a psychological defense mechanism, where the brain conjures a figure to help cope with extreme stress or near-death experiences. However, to Haston and Scott, as well as to many who hear their story, it felt like a deeply spiritual experience, suggesting that perhaps there are forces at play on Everest that are beyond our understanding. Their survival is hailed as a miraculous feat, one that has added to the mystique of Mount Everest and the countless stories that make the mountain a symbol of both human endurance and the mysterious. This story serves as a reminder of the profound and often inexplicable connections between humans and the majestic, yet formidable natural world. This tale, like many others from the slopes of Everest, continues to inspire awe and wonder, bridging the gap between the known and the unknown, and challenging us to consider the limits of human understanding and the possibility of greater forces at play in the highest places on Earth. Number 16. The Vanishing Snowboarder. Marco Siffredi's daring descent on a snowboard from Everest's summit captures the spirit of adventure and the unfathomable risks that come with it. Our research shows at the time of this video, his body was never found. His disappearance while attempting the treacherous Hornbeam couloir is a chilling reminder of the mountain's unforgiving nature. Number 17. Over 200 dead bodies lost. The mountain slopes bear silent witness to over 200 lives lost, their bodies frozen in time, serving as somber milestones for those who dare to follow. Among them is the iconic figure known as Green Boots, a stark and haunting landmark on the path to the summit. Thank you for joining Facts Intrigue on this extraordinary journey through the chilling mysteries of Mount Everest. These tales, woven into the very fabric of the mountain, remind us of the thin line between human ambition and the raw, untamed forces of nature.